Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Resources Roundup session. Thank you all for being here. I'm glad so many of you joined because we have some exciting resources to share. First, I want to just thank all of our sponsors for contributing to our conference and for contributing resources and ideas and sharing. So as you'll see, there are several sponsors from MSU, Montana State University. And before I turn it over to Dr. Ann Ewbank from MSU, who's going to share a little bit about the Ed Department work and resources, I wanted to share that we have an exciting raffle that is being offered by NSF EPSCoR. And I'm going to share with you in the chat a link to this Pocket Lab weather sensor so you can design your own experiments that are weather related. And this will be raffled off to one of you that attend this session. So at the end of the session, I'm going to basically take everybody's names that are in the participant list, put them into a spreadsheet, do a random number selector, and we will have a winner at the end of the session, and we will mail you the Pocket Lab sensor courtesy of EPSCoR. So thank you for that contribution. And now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Ann Ewbank, head of the education department at MSU.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Melissa, and thank you to the organizers and sponsors for inviting me to talk a little bit about the Department of Education at Montana State University. The first thing I want to share is that by attending the Science Summer Institute this year, you're really investing in your own professional development. And I applaud each and every educator who takes time out of their relaxing summer to continue to identify how that they can be the best teachers that they can be for Montana's kids. And that just from the bottom of my heart, investing in your own professional development and professional learning is it's so greatly appreciated, and it's how we learn and grow in the profession. So I'm going to talk a little bit about where we are in terms of STEM and STEAM education and some of our efforts in that regard. And then I'll talk a little bit about our graduate programs, which some of you may be interested in applying for, as well as some of our rural education initiatives, and then additional opportunities for engagement with the MSU Department of Education. And so in terms of activities related to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, we are really growing and thriving in this particular educational space. So over 20% of our full-time tenure track and tenured faculty are either principal investigators or co-principal investigators on a STEM-related grant project. And that's pretty phenomenal. We have 24 faculty that are eligible to have these grants. And so that's a pretty significant number of the faculty in our department who are really deeply invested and involved in STEM activity. And our biggest collaborator at Montana State University are our colleagues in the Norm Asbjornson College of Engineering. So in the College of Engineering here at MSU, there's a Montana Engineering Education Resource Center. And we have quite a few of our education faculty who are affiliated with this center, and we collaborate extensively with our colleagues in engineering. And one example of this is a very recent grant that was awarded by the National Science Foundation through their Research Experiences for Teachers program. And so we were awarded, between the engineering and the education faculty, $600,000 to provide research-based experiences for teachers to work alongside faculty researchers to really learn and take a deep dive into how knowledge is created and discoveries in the STEM areas happen. More to come on that. We just got the award. So we're still figuring out how we're moving forward, but we're really excited about that. And so we tend to go for these program type grants because we know as a land grant institution, you know, our job, our foundation and our mission is to support the state of Montana and to provide that outreach. And so we take that, that mission very seriously at Montana State University. And you'll hear throughout the academic year, probably from our Science Math Resource Center or School Services of Montana, various opportunities to engage in these types of projects with our faculty. So the next thing I'll talk about is just an overview of our graduate programs. So you're all teachers, and if you're interested in pursuing graduate education, I don't want to sound biased, but I think Montana State University is the place to be. Maybe I'm a little biased. So I wanted to share that we have a new program. It's a graduate certificate, and it's 15 credits, or just 5 classes. And it is called the Teacher Leadership Certificate. And it is a combination of coursework in curriculum and instruction and educational leadership, because we know that teachers can be leaders in their building. You don't have to be an administrator to be an instructional leader. So this graduate certificate gives you some tools and resources to really become that instructional leader in your school setting. It's 15 credits, and all of those credits can be applied to our master's degree in educational leadership, which leads to principal's licensure. So that's one. Another graduate program is our library media certificate. And you may think, oh, science and libraries, do they really have a connection? Well, the answer is yes, because science is all about inquiry, and school libraries are all about supporting student inquiry through research, through making, through tinkering, and really driving those inquiry processes. So if you're familiar, for example, with the 5E process of inquiry, school librarians do that too. And so this 7-class or 21 credit program leads to an added endorsement in K-12 library media. We also have a 100% online Masters of Education in Curriculum and Instruction. And so this master's degree really helps you to take a deep dive and to become an expert in curriculum and instruction. So you learn advanced educational psychology, you learn about mentoring new teachers, and then you have a lot of electives you can take, such as green research or contemporary issues in education. And your final project in that program is a capstone. And so you conduct a research project in your own practice, in your own professional setting, intended to advance your professional knowledge and practice. And of course, you get that nice moving over on the salary schedule as well. We admit in fall, spring, and summer for all of these programs. And then finally, the Masters of Education and Educational Leadership is a blended program. So they do a 1 or 2 week residency on the Bozeman campus in summer to really build that community and that cohort. So everybody starts in the summer, and then you're together until your graduation, where you will earn your principal recommendation. So those are the graduate programs, and I'll pop some of these links in the chat, Melissa, so that folks can take a look at the written information, and you can have those resources available to you. And then I want to talk a little bit about our rural education initiatives. So many, I'm not sure how many of you are located in the rural or frontier areas of our state. Montana State University's Department of Education is heavily invested in really trying to help folks see rural locations as a place to really thrive and grow in your educational career. And so we have two projects. One is the Montana Rural Teacher Project, which will train 78 teachers who are career changers. So they already have a bachelor's in something else. And then they take a 12 to 15 month, very intensive master's degree program, which includes full student teaching. And these folks get mentoring for two years after they graduate and secure a position. So if you are in rural Montana, I hope you will spread the word about this program, because the folks that we want in this program are the folks that are your neighbors. Maybe you know somebody who has an engineering degree and really wants to think about teaching secondary math or something. And so that's who we're looking for. Maggie's in the program right now. Hi, Maggie. Yeah, some of our participants are attending the Science Summer Institute. Thanks for reminding me. And then, so all of that is to say, if you know of a neighbor who you think might be a good teacher, or if you're interested in hosting an individual in this program in your rural school, reach out to us, and we will definitely help connect you with wonderful pre-service teachers who are just very, very excited to join our field. We're also building out our undergraduate program in the same manner. So we're just about completed with a proposal to infuse this same type of rural experience in our undergraduate program. And so we're always looking for partner districts or partner schools in rural and frontier Montana, where we can come visit you and we can bring a bunch of our undergraduate students and they can just soak up everything that a rural school does and all of the community and wonderful things that happen for a week. And then finally, I want to talk about some opportunities for additional engagement. And so my first is volunteer to host a teacher candidate. So we have students all over the place, and we are always looking for amazing teachers where we can place our students so that they can learn from you. And this is a good example of how K-12 and higher education can work together, because we're all one system. We're not two separate systems. We go from pre-kindergarten all the way up to the doctorate level, and we love collaborating with our folks in pre-K through 12. So volunteering to host a teacher candidate is more of a labor of love than monetary compensation, but that teacher candidate can learn from you and kind of act as a paraprofessional at the same time. Like two heads are better than one, two adults are better than one in a classroom, and they're learning from you, as you're getting assistance from them. Invite us to your PIR days. So one of my greatest pleasures is to get into the pre-K through 12 schools as much as I can. And I've attended some PIR days at various schools in the Gallatin Valley that have just been amazing. And so we really treasure learning alongside you and having those important dialogues so that we can connect theory to practice and really know what's going on in pre-K through 12. So shoot me an email and invite us to those PIR days if that's a possibility. Additionally, if you have some cool stuff going on that you think is really innovative and worth studying, you can reach out to me, and maybe I can provide some matchmaking services for our faculty researchers to come into your classrooms and do some research and evaluation on the amazing techniques and, you know, pedagogical innovations and social emotional learning, whatever you're doing in your class that you think is awesome. Our faculty love to partner with pre-K through 12 teachers to do that important research. And it's beneficial to teachers because it really demonstrates that what you're doing is evidence-based. It's not just something you made up. It's like, it's actually working. And so that's something that we love to do. And then finally, I want to share an opportunity for those who can get to the MSU campus. So we have a brand new makerspace in the Norm Asbjornson College of Engineering. And I am putting in the chat some links and an email. And let me tell you, this is like, it's a really great makerspace. They have, I mean, everything from sewing machines to these really expensive advanced 3D printers to woodworking tools and things like that. And our coordinator in the makerspace is really interested in outreach to the schools. And so you can reach out to him with the email address provided and see if there's any opportunities for you to engage in a makerspace, to learn a little bit more about making and tinkering and the value that brings to STEM education, or to even arrange a field trip or something like that. So that is what I have. I'm going to pop my email into the chat. And once again, thank you so much for attending this institute and investing in your professional learning. And I know that it's just been a really rich conference for you. Okay, thank you. I'll turn it over to Susie.